woke mind virus, how did it start? Was it bats? Was it a escape from a lab? I mean, what is your assessment of what, because it's fairly recent. How did it start and why?
I was trying to figure out where it's coming from. I think it's actually been a long time brewing, in that it's, I think it's been going on for a while. And the amount of indoctrination that's happening in schools and universities is, I think, far beyond what parents realize. And I sort of came to realize this somewhat late. The experience that we had in high school and college is not the experience that kids today are having, and hasn't been for, I don't know, 10 years, maybe 20 years. So,
aren't parents themselves also a big part of the problem?
I suppose in some cases that parents, but I think like the parents are just generally not aware of what their kids are being taught, or what they're not being taught.
They're letting the kids think that they're equal.
I mean, yeah. Let me give you an example that a friend of mine told me, which his daughters go to college go to high school in the Bay Area.
Yeah, I think there's a big problem what's going on in school, and parents cannot do anything about it. Unfortunately, you have to send your child to school, and everybody has to do that. And so it's unfortunate that the school system is actually going the wrong direction. Hopefully it will change.
And he was asking them, like, well, so who are the first few presidents of the United States? They could name Washington, and I said, well, what do you know about him? Well, he was a slave owner. What else?
Right. Exactly.
Nothing.
Right.
I'm like, okay, maybe you should know more than that. Yeah.
Yeah. That is the woke mind virus. Exactly. Yeah.
No. Exactly. It's like, slavery is obviously a horrific institution, but we should still know more about George Washington than that.
And by the way, one that was practiced all over the world forever, since the beginning of time, by every race, including people of color. I'm sorry to tell you that. It's huge in the Bible.
Absolutely. So
Bible loves it.
They're quite strict about, like, don't take someone else's slave and that kind of thing.
Right, but no one ever says just don't do it.
They don't. At no point does it say slavery is bad in the Bible.
No.
They do not condemn it at all. They just.
So, I said George Washington was a great president. Oh, how dare you?
Yeah, exactly. It had some flaws, but
so how do you fix that?
Well, you have to say, like, what does canceled mean? I mean, yes, if people attack you on Twitter, that's one thing, but frankly, that's just going to increase engagement. So I would just ignore it.
So you were in Congress, at Congress the other day, talking with Chuck Schumer about AI. I'm very interested in this because you've been on this for years. I've always thought you were right about this. I think you're right about almost everything. I mean, let's have more babies and raise them on Mars. I don't get that, but okay.
Well, I just think we should be cautious about civilizational decline and we have plummeting birth rates most places. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think Elon Musk is totally right about that. But the most pressing issue is the declining birth rate. At some point, people are going to get older and older and older, and there will be no more young people to take the difficult job, to pay for the social security, and to renew the population. Basically, the population is going to start declining as we get more and more educated and we make less and less children. And eventually, we will disappear. Because we cannot live for an eternity, unfortunately. Life is fleeting.
Right. And also plummeting resources.
No, resources will be fine.
But they're not fine.
I know a lot about
they're not fine now.
No, look, I'm not suggesting complacency. We do want to move to a sustainable energy economy as quickly as possible, but we're not in any danger of resource collapse.
But lots of people don't have enough food or water. Water, we will run out of water. They're running out of sand.
No, Earth is 70% water by surface area.
But you can't drink that.
Desalination is absurdly cheap.
Why don't we do it then?
We do it. It is done.
You have a lot of free time.
It is done. There is a lot of desalination done.
Okay, but
there's plenty of water. This is not an issue. I want to be clear.
All right. So, but let's talk about AI because, like, you were on this tip 10 years ago when nobody else was. And I always thought he's right. Why? Because I've seen too many movies. Everything that happens in movies that happens in real life. And if you make things that are way smarter than you, why wouldn't they become your overlords? So what did you say to Chuck Schumer, and what are we doing about this? I know you want to pause in AI because just in the last 6 months with ChatGPT, which came from a company you started.
With respect to AI, I just think we should be.
Yeah, the AI revolution is here, and it is here to stay. If you see how amazing the rise of ChatGPT was, it basically grew so fast, and now everybody is talking about it. We definitely have to find something to regulate this before it goes out of hand.
We should have some sort of regulatory oversight. So, for anything that is a danger to the public, if it's sort of aircraft, cars, food and drug and whatnot, we've got some regulatory oversight, like a referee, essentially, and making sure that companies don't cut corners. So I think that if one agrees that AI is a potential risk to the public, then there should be some regulatory body that oversees what companies are doing so that they don't cut corners and potentially do something very dangerous.
And if we don't do something, lay out a scenario for me in the next 2, 5, 10 years, if nothing is done, because we're very good at doing nothing, especially when it comes in the way of profit, and this is a big profit engine now for companies. They're going to want to just compete with each other. I mean, there are people like Ray Kurzweil who doesn't think it's a problem at all.
Actually, Ray Kurzweil's prediction for artificial superintelligence.
Yeah, actually, AI is very beneficial to some companies. Some company is using AI to make a lot of money, but unfortunately, AI is also gonna put a lot of company out of business and gonna have people lose their job. AI is gonna replace a ton of low-skill jobs that the AI can do, right? Unfortunately, it has some benefits to have AI everywhere, and it have also some huge drawback. But it's not going anywhere anytime soon, and we have to live with it.
Is 2029. He's not far wrong.
Right. But he doesn't think it's a problem, whereas people like you and Bill Gates and Stephen Hawking think it's a problem.
Yeah, it depends. If some people want to live forever or for a much longer period of time, and they see AI as the only way or digital superintelligence as the only thing that can figure out how to get them to live forever, I think Kurzweil is in that category. So he would prefer to have AI, artificial general intelligence, than not. Because it can figure out longevity.
So are you optimistic? I read in your Rolling Stone article back in the day that you said you can never be happy unless you're in love.
Well, you can be half happy, I suppose. There's two things. I think to be most happy, if you're happy in love and you love your work, then you'll be, I think, fully happy. If you lack either of those two, if you have one of those two things, be half happy. Roughly.
I feel like this.
That's insane. He just said. There are two loves in the world. You love your spouse, you love your partner, and you love your work, and you have to do both. So he estimates us basically we spend 50% of our time with our partner, with our relationship, with our spouse, and 50% of our time working. So you have to love both to be truly happy. That's kind of the original take, I believe. I'm not really sure
in a
what to
lot of
think
your
about
works that connect all these different things is connecting. Like you want to connect things. You want to connect on the Hyperloop, and you want to connect this to Mars. And when you bought Twitter, you're kind of doing what you did when you took over, when you started Tesla. You lived at the factory, right? I feel like that's your pattern. You get into this thing, and then you got to live at the factory to make it work. You've been you moved to Texas, then you went back up to San Francisco because of Twitter.
I was living in the library of Twitter for a while. Yes. I think things are reasonably stabilized right now. It was just on the fast track to bankruptcy after the acquisition, so I had to take drastic action. There wasn't any choice.
I'm just saying it's hard for a woman.
Yeah.
To when the guy lives at the factory.
Yes. Yes, it is.
That could be a stumbling block. But
yes. Overall, with my concern with Twitter was to.
Yeah, I think Elon Musk is a great cutter. He did the right thing, where basically he's thinking like a businessman. He see that the company was in very bad shape. X and Twitter was in very bad shape. They were losing a ton of money, and so you have to cut costs. And unfortunately, so many people lost their jobs. That's very unfortunate, but there's no other way around. If the company filed bankruptcy, then everybody loses their job. It's way, way worse.
that it is somewhat of the digital town square, and it's important that there be both the reality and perception of trust for a wide range of viewpoints. And there was a lot of censorship going on. And we sort of uncovered a lot of that with the Twitter files, including a lot of government-driven censorship, which, you know, I mean, it seems that that's got to be a constitutional violation, what was going on there. But and I could, since I'm like an avid Twitter user, I could detect that like something's not right here. And so that's really why I did the acquisition. It wasn't because I thought this was an easy way to make money or something like that. This is me being mayor of Tweet Town or whatever, is definitely like there's a lot of arrows pointed at you, like flying at you.
Of course. But you seem to handle that okay. I hope you do, because look, I mean, geniuses are going to be a little quirky sometimes, but your heart is always in the right place. You were trying to fix this world. And look, I could talk to you forever. We can't today. I'd love to get high with you. I know a great place to. But I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. I know you have a lot of choices and places you can go. Thank you, Elon Musk, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'll see you soon, Elon.
That was a great video. I hope you enjoyed this video with me today, guys. Elon Musk is a smart guy. He has very good insight over the economy, over the world, over what to do next for the sake of humanity. I hope he managed to save us all in the end. We will see what he does over the next coming years, and we are gonna cover it all right there on this channel. Thanks for watching and staying with me to the end. Click right there to watch the next video, and I will see you there. Goodbye.